It's a time when the city of Mumbai is witnessing a new COVID spike. The city administration is expecting nearly 2,000 cases every day for the next 30 days. But the ruling Shiv Sena is battling a different enemy, actor Kangana Ranaut. The Sena has called her a mental woman, questioned her right to live in Mumbai and said that she should be charged with sedition for calling Mumbai Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Kangana in turn took to Twitter to share videos of BMC officials raiding her office premises and alleged that the corporation officials are harassing her and her neighbours. She has now been sanctioned Y+ security by the central government. The opposition in Maharashtra is the BJP. They have accused the Sena of acting with malice towards the actor. Let me go across to Riya, who's joining us with more on the story. Riya, at this point of time, you would have thought that the Aghadi government has much better things to deal with than Kangana Ranaut. Why engage in a war of words with an actor when you have a raging pandemic which is out of control?
23,000 and counting, that was the count that Maharashtra recorded yesterday for COVID. 2,000 was something that Mumbai saw alone. So clearly the situation of COVID with respect to Maharashtra hasn't been great in the last few days. But at the same time, the war of words between Shiv Sena and Kangana Ranaut continues to rage. Remember, this is something that the Shiv Sena has refused to take lying down. So has Kangana Ranaut, and in this war of words and the maligning campaign that both of them have undertaken against each other, now the BMC has jumped into the fray and has said that as per the standard protocol, what is going to happen is after Kangana Ranaut lands in Mumbai, she will be stamped with the home quarantine stamp, which means she will not be able to leave home for at least 10 days. Now, rider is, if there is any change in the ICMR guidelines within the coming 2 days before she lands in Mumbai, then the quarantine rules will change accordingly. But the fact is also that at a time when several other issues are raging, that the Shiv Sena has been paying so much of attention to the barbs and rants of an actor who has been levelling unsubstantiated allegations, only shows that this was something that the Shiv Sena would possibly have avoided.
Then what the BMC is doing, or at least what Kangana claims the BMC is doing, is trying to demolish her office property, which she says is completely legal. Vinay, I wonder whether you have managed to speak to the BMC. Are they actually going to demolish Kangana's office in Mumbai tomorrow, as Kangana is claiming?
No, there is no substantiation to this allegation that has been levelled. There is no demolition notice. There is no process to demolish the office. What the BMC sources have definitely told us is that there is complaint that Kangana Ranaut has been using a residential complex for commercial purpose, and that is for office. And that is the complaint that they had received. So now they are in the process of checking if Kangana Ranaut has all the essential permissions in place in order to use that space as a commercial property, or whether it is a residential complex, residential property which is being used illegally by Kangana Ranaut as a commercial property. Remember, this is a process which has just begun today, and in order for the BMC to come to any conclusion whether it is legal or illegal, there is no demolition aspect involved in it so far as the condition goes right now, Shreya.
Okay, do stay on with us. Let's get in Rajlakshmi Joshi. She is joining us on the show as well. Rajlakshmi, thank you very much for being here. I'm going to ask Vinaya to stay with us. You know, the fact is that I was asking Vinaya this question. This is a time when the state of Maharashtra and the city of Mumbai are dealing with a raging pandemic. Not just these two places, the entire country actually. Does the Aghadi government have nothing better to do than engage in a war of words with an actor and call her mental as well? I mean, I'm just looking at, you know, the level at which this war of words has fallen, both from Kangana's side and from the Shiv Sena's side as well. Today they've called her mental. How will you respond to that? Very unfortunate, I would say, but go ahead, give your comments.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very unfortunate war of words that has gone totally out of hand. This was, and I think that this was totally avoidable because you know, this is something like I was telling you, this is like I dare you this, I dare you that. You know, there's no end to this. And what we can see very clearly is that when they tried to threaten Kangana Ranaut by saying that you dare come to Mumbai and our women's cell is more than ready, and they did some demonstrations also on the roads, and by blackening her photographs and her so all of that. And apart from that, now the next step that happened was that she was given the Y level security, which was actually the government in Maharashtra should have said that you don't worry, you have nothing to fear about coming to Mumbai. But yes, if you have so much against Mumbai, then you're better off where you are. And they could have taken some kind of a legal recourse to all of this. They could have maybe talked it out amicably, or
But tell me, in a situation where such harsh words have been exchanged, Rajlakshmi ji, how is it possible to resolve this amicably? I mean, if you have any citizen, I mean, of course, there is freedom of speech in this country. You can say what you want to. But how else do you expect people of Mumbai and the people of Maharashtra to react if someone calls Mumbai POK, Pakistan Occupied Kashmir? That is deeply offensive as well.
I understand, because I am a proud Mumbaiker myself. And I would rather choose Mumbai over any other city to live in India, because I love Mumbai. Like I'm very much, I would definitely not support anybody who would call Mumbai as Pakistan occupied Kashmir, because that is definitely unfair. And I would also like to add that whatever I have observed, or whatever my experience has been, is that Mumbai police is also very efficient. But my objections over the last few months, few years has been that in certain cases I have felt that there has been some kind of a political pressure, due to which I feel that the Mumbai police is subduing certain cases.
Okay.
Like whether it was about the Palghar lynching, whether it is about Sushant Singh Rajput's investigation. In all of this, I feel that there has been a lot of political pressure, due to which they have subdued it. And I definitely do not support whatever she has said. But at the same time, the kind of threats, the kind of intimidation that the Maharashtra government is doing, this is like saying that, okay, if you are getting security from there, so we are going to hit you where it hurts. So we are going to hit you economically. We are going to hit your pocket. So that is, this is a way of saying that, okay, you get whatever security you want, but we are going to pinch you where it hurts.
Vinaya, is that how it's playing out? Vinaya, is that how it's playing out, as Rajlakshmi is saying? That you go and get Y+ security if you want to from the BJP government, but your commercial properties are here in Mumbai and your business is here in Mumbai. So we will trouble you. You trouble us, we'll trouble you like this. Raid your properties, demolish it.
Well, firstly, Shreya, let me just put out a factual correction. Palghar lynching incident is not under Mumbai police. That incident did not happen in Mumbai. It is under Palghar police. So we can possibly say Maharashtra police, but definitely not Mumbai police, if I may correct Rajlakshmi on that count. Secondly, yes, this is something that has miffed the Maharashtra government to no end, that somebody who's a resident of Mumbai, whose commercial and residential properties are in Mumbai, should, instead of seeking protection from the Mumbai police, which is obviously, somebody who has the jurisdiction here, should approach the center, and the center too should provide protection. Now this the Maharashtra government views not as an act by an individual, but it looks at it as a politically motivated act. Now whether that is right or wrong is something that is debatable between the BJP and the Shiv Sena. But the fact is that, right now, the way the BMC is reacting is almost like a vendetta politics, because remember, Kangana Ranaut has had this office, has had this property with her for quite some time. This is not a fresh property, neither are any permissions which were sought by the actor any fresh in nature. So the fact that there are allegations that this is political vendetta at a time when the actor is speaking out and the Shiv Sena views it as anti-party, anti-state, is something that is holding grounds and gaining grounds in Maharashtra. But from both the sides, as I said, nobody is willing to relent really, while the government feels it's political vendetta and that it is, the center which is backstabbing Maharashtra by providing security to Kangana. Kangana feels that she has every right and that she is being hounded by the BMC. The factual situation on ground is that there has been no notice issued by far by the BMC and inspection has been conducted.
Vinay, before I let you go very quickly, I also read some reports, they may be incorrect, but I did read some reports about possibly a sedition charge being leveled against Kangana Ranaut when she returns to Mumbai on the 9th. Is there, all right, I believe, Vinay, the NCP is now speaking. There's a press conference. NCP, I beg your pardon, this is the Narcotics Control Bureau. Let's listen into them.
Detail में जाना पड़ता है. It takes time. You have to be patient.
सर, रिया आज एक बैग लेकर आई थी रिया, और जब निकली तो उनके हाथ में बैग नहीं था सर. क्या डॉक्यूमेंट है सर?
इस संबंध में मुझे कोई न तो रिया ने कुछ बताया न मुझे कोई जानकारी है. मैं सवाल का जवाब आपके नहीं दूंगा.
रिमांड के सर जो है, क्या अब तक के ड्रग चैट की जो भी पूछताछ हुई है या जो भी आपकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन हुई है उसमें रिया चक्रवर्ती ड्रग लेने या मंगवाने के मामले में कुछ पूछताछ में निकल कर आया?
देखिए, इन सवालों का इनका जो भी खुलासा होगा हम न्यायालय के समक्ष करेंगे. तब तक मैं बाध्य हूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं बता सकता. जो मिस्टर केशवानी जो कल जिनके यहाँ से काफी मात्रा में ड्रग बरामद हुआ था, उनको आज पूछताछ के बाद अरेस्ट किया गया. उनके न्यायालय के समक्ष प्रस्तुत किया जा रहा है. उनसे मिला था, हशीश मिला था, LSD मिला था और मैरिजुआना मिला था.
क्या रिया को कल वापस समन किया गया?
जी किया गया.
कितने बजे सर?
जैसे आज आए थे.
कोरोना पॉजिटिव है. अभी उसके सतीश माने शिंदे ने एक जानकारी दी है कि एक आरोपी कोरोना पॉजिटिव हो गया है.
मेरे तीनों जो मेरी टीम पूरी खड़ी आपके सामने, मुझे नहीं लगता किसी को इस बात की कोई जानकारी है. और जैसे यदि कोई होगा तो हम जो भारत सरकार और महाराष्ट्र सरकार द्वारा लेट डाउन प्रोटोकॉल है उसका हम पूर्णतया पालन करेंगे.
कोई और ड्रग पैडलर का इस मामले में पकड़ा गया है? कोई मुंबई और मुंबई के बाहर का कोई कनेक्शन?
नहीं, अभी कोई ऐसी सूचना मेरे पास
सर,
नहीं.
एनसीबी आने वाले समय में
मैं आपके इनके सवाल का एक जवाब.
बोलिए प्लीज.
आप जो शायद जो बात कर रहे हैं वो एक्चुअली हमने गोवा में एक अरेस्ट किया था और वो उनका नाम फैजान था, नाम फयाज. वो ड्रग के काम में लिप्त थे. वो पाए गए पॉजिटिव. आप सही कह रहे हैं, लेकिन ये मुंबई का मैटर नहीं है, ये गोवा का मैटर है और हमारी वहाँ की टीम को क्वारंटाइन हमने कर दिया.
सर, जिस तरीके से पूछताछ चल रही है, क्या आने वाले समय में ये समझे बॉलीवुड का एक बड़ा नाम इसमें सामने आने वाला है?
नो स्पेकुलेशन प्लीज. थैंक यू.
That was the Narcotics Control Bureau answering some questions, not giving out too many details, just saying no speculation, please, but clarifying and confirming for us that Riya Chakraborty will be called in tomorrow as well for questioning. In fact, 8 hours on, Riya Chakraborty's questioning by the ED got over, by the NCB, I beg your pardon, got over a couple of minutes ago or so. This was the second day that she was quizzed by the narcotics cell team. Riya was grilled for more than 7 hours and interrogated about her drugs-related text chats with her brother Shauvik, with Samuel Miranda and suspected peddler Gaurav Arya as well. Riya has still now denied ever consuming drugs. She, however, has admitted to procuring marijuana from Dipesh for Sushant's use. On the other hand, Riya also filed a complaint against Sushant's sister and Dr. Tarun. Riya, in her complaint, is claiming that Sushant was mentioned as an OPD patient in the prescription and that Dr. Tarun, being a cardiologist, prescribed psychotropic drugs for Sushant, which he wasn't supposed to, which he's not qualified to. Let me go across to Shilpa Ratnam, who is joining us live from outside Riya's residence. Herman Gomes is live with us from the NCB office. Herman, it was another long day of questioning for Riya Chakraborty. There were times in the day, and it was an 8-hour questioning, as you're pointing out, when she broke down, especially when she met her brother Shauvik. Tell us what has happened through the day and whether the NCB has had any breakthrough, as it were.
Well, Shreya, yes, she arrived at 10 a.m. this morning. At least this time the security arrangements were far more better. She went inside for 1 hour. She was questioned alone. Post that she was questioned along with Shauvik, where she met him for the first time since his arrest. Post that a joint confrontation with Samuel Miranda as well as Dipesh Sawant, the household help. yes, she has confessed to have procured the drugs, but she says that was for the consumption of Sushant Singh Rajput and not for her own. She has claimed that she would only consume alcohol as well as cigarettes and would also not consume curated marijuana. Day 3, as rightly as sources have been telling us correctly through the day, Shreya, here at CNN News 18, that in most likelihood it was predicted that there could be a third day of questioning for Riya Chakraborty, which will now be taking place tomorrow. So at 10 a.m. tomorrow, once again, she's been called in for questioning. As far as breakthroughs are concerned, it will remain to be seen today as to what really has transpired, because Anuj was in fact one of the middlemen who was picked up for having supplied drugs to the peddlers. His questioning is going to be extremely important today. In fact, what we're told is that the NCB is trying to look in case if there are any leads of him directly or indirectly to the peddlers, and that in turn in case linked to Riya Chakraborty, because at this point at least there has been no possession that has been seen, as well as also at the same time there is a statement that has come on its way, what we're given to understand from Satish Manishinde, her lawyer, who says that it's a welcome sign in view of the pandemic situation and the way media is behaving. This is concerning regarding that the video conferencing will be taking place as far as the remand is concerned. He says that I'm told one of the accused in the NCB case has tested positive, to which now the NCB has said it is not related to the matter of Mumbai, but rather Fayaz Ahmed, who has been picked up for his links to the Bangalore drug cartel is what we're given to understand. Furthermore, he says, and I quote, even if they are not charged with any case or serious offence, there is every chance of the persons concerned getting affected with coronavirus. Time people take note of it. So clearly flagging of concerns of coronavirus. As far as
I mean, those are valid concerns, Herman. Those are valid concerns. We've all seen pictures that came out of the NCB office yesterday. This is, you know, at least 70, 80 photographers, journalists jostling with each other, almost like the pandemic is over, and it isn't. Maharashtra is reporting 2,000 cases every day. That is what it is expecting for the next 30 days. Let me go also across to Shilpa Ratnam, who's tracking the story for us. She's outside Riya Chakraborty's residence. Shilpa, has Riya reached her residence? And secondly, very importantly, today the CBI seems to be suggesting that they will be looking into the nepotism aspect as well. I thought, you know, that nepotism aspect was completely out of the picture now. The entire concentration of the probe has become drugs. But it seems the CBI has a different plan in mind.
Well, yes, Shreya, the CBI has said it will be looking into the nepotism angle as well. The Mumbai police was doing its investigations on the professional rivalry and nepotism angle, proceeding which Sushant's father filed an FIR in Bihar. He said he wasn't happy with the Mumbai police's line of investigation. He said nepotism is not connected to this case, that the Mumbai police is calling producers and directors who have nothing to do with this case, is what the family has said. And now we are learning that the CBI will also be conducting a similar investigation into the nepotism and professional rivalry angle, because they do believe that there were some projects that Sushant lost out on. This is something they're hearing from sources, and this is something that they would like to further explore, because this is something that Sushant's close aides have also said. As for Riya Chakraborty, yes, I am at her residence and she is on her way back from the NCB. She finished her day at the NCB at about 6 p.m. after about 8 hours of questioning. It was the second day of questioning. Today we saw social distancing being maintained at the NCB. A calm and composed Riya Chakraborty getting into the car there, and she should be making her way here in about 10 minutes. Summons have been issued to her to appear again tomorrow. Today she's had a very eventful day. There was a complaint filed against Sushant's sister for administering psychotropic drugs illegally via a prescription that was obtained by an OPD from Delhi when Sushant was in fact in Mumbai. Also in the morning there was a confrontation with Shovik that Riya had, so it has been a long day for her.
All right, thank you very much. It could get longer, Shilpa, because there are some reports that she could be headed to the Bandra police station instead of coming back home to where you are. We'll just wait and confirm that piece of information as well. Thank you very much, Herman. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, Shilpa, joining us from outside Riya's residence. Thank you very much as well. Moving on now to something that is very important and should concern all of us. India has surpassed Brazil and now is the second highest COVID cases in the world. We have the third highest number of casualties worldwide, and the rise in numbers every day is the highest in the world, almost 1 lakh now. What is driving this surge? The government says It is irresponsible people.
Tired of the lockdown and of taking safety measures? You may want to step out like many of those who are out and about, but bear in mind these latest COVID numbers. India is now the world's second worst hit nation after the US. The country registered a staggering 90,802 new cases in the last 24 hours. With over 42 lakh cases, India now has a caseload that is higher than that of Brazil. The country registered over 1,000 deaths in 24 hours, taking the total fatalities to 71,642. The figure means that India has overtaken Mexico and now has the world's third highest COVID casualties. Let me repeat that figure for you. We are now the second worst hit COVID nation on the planet, and we have the third highest number of fatalities. Our death count is still way behind the US and Brazil, with over 32.5 lakh of India's COVID patients having recovered. But is that consolation enough? India now has the world's fastest growth in COVID cases. The number of cases jumped by 13% last week. It was the second straight week of double-digit growth in cases. Over 5.8 lakh coronavirus cases were recorded between the 31st of October and 6th of September alone. India's caseload is galloping ahead. From the 20 lakh mark on the 7th of August, it rose to 30 lakhs on the 23rd of August and crossed 40 lakhs on the 5th of September. According to the AIIMS director, some parts of the country are witnessing a second wave of COVID-19. So before you step out without wearing a mask or get into a crowded place, think again.
But even as cases are rising, metro services in the national capital have resumed. Our reporters on the ground getting us this report.
Passengers remain apprehensive even though the services have resumed operations today. The standard operating procedures are in place, but there's only one route that is operational today, which is from the airport to Bashrampet in North Chennai. 2 days later, there will be another route that will be operational. But even though one route is operational, depending on the demand, and trains are arriving at every station at every given 5 minutes, very, very few passengers have been spotted.
Commuters will have to get their body temperature scanned here like this. There is a contactless body temperature scanner here. And then you sanitize your hands, which is also contactless, as you can see. And then you show Arogya Setu app on your phone, and then you'll be allowed entry.
अगर हम एक बार तो हमें एक स्टेप लेना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर हम स्टेप ही नहीं लेंगे तो हमें पता कैसे चलेगा कि इसको आगे बढ़ेंगे कैसे।
सर अगर सावधानी उठाए जाएं तो सही कदम भी है ये, अगर सोचा जाए, क्योंकि अगर हम बस से ट्रैवल करते हैं तो बहुत ज़्यादा दिक्कत आ रही है उसमें।
थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग यहाँ पे, क्योंकि मेट्रो वगैरह आता है तो पर्सन का आपको पता ही है, सबको हड़बड़ होता है, तो वो थोड़ा मे बी पॉसिबल ना हो पाए सोशल डिस्टेंस।
Even on the floor, you can see social distancing markers for passengers who are standing so that they maintain adequate distance between them. Joining me is a passenger. How does it feel to be traveling in a metro after 5 months?
I had my doubts initially, but I think once I got onto it, I felt pretty comfortable and okay with it, because there's quite some distance where people can stay far away, social distance from each other.
And finally, as we wrap, amidst the standoff with China at the LAC, India gave a powerful Made in India technology demonstration today. India's next generation hypersonic cruise missiles are well on track. Take a look at this. On Monday, India successfully tested an indigenous developed hypersonic technology demonstrator vehicle. This is a building block for supersonic missiles that can travel 6 times the speed of sound. India is the 4th nation after China, US and Russia to successfully test this technology. Congratulating defense scientists, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said the success of the mission means all critical technologies are now established to progress to the next phase of missile development. We leave you with these lovely pictures that came in this morning. Thanks very much for watching.
Article Health